The power to tax is not the power to destroy while this court sits. This was a famous statement quoted by Justice Oliver Holmes, showing us how powerful it is for corporate law and taxation to go hand in hand. And today, to speak to us about the subject of corporate law and taxation, we are joined here with Miss Nananjali Jayasekara and Miss Tarika Hevage. A very warm welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining us. And a brief introduction to Miss Nananjali Jayasekara and Miss Tarika Hevage is something that I am very honored to do this morning. Ms. Nananjali Jayasekara is the founder partner of her own audit firm with multiple years of experience in the profession. She is also the tax consultant of Jayasinghe and Company, and she is a fellow chartered accountant of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and a fellow member of AAT. She is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants and also a fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation. She is currently reading for her final year of Master of Business Administration Taxation in Postgraduate Institute of Management at the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. And Ms. Nananjali is also a tax expert in the industry with over 10 years of lecturing experience, having produced 7 prize winners to date. And we would also like to briefly introduce Ms. Tarika Hevage to you. Ms. Hevage is an attorney at law with over 4 years of experience as a lawyer in the private bar. She holds an LLB Honours Second Upper Division from the Faculty of Law University of Colombo, an LLM Honours First Class from the Staffordshire University of the UK, and a diploma in CIMA. She also holds multiple years of expertise in several private companies, including expertise in commercial contract and company law areas, while being an academic and researcher as well. Thank you very much once again for joining us. And there is one big question that all our students have asked us, and that is corporate law and taxation. ඒ දෙක එකතු කරලා අරගත්ත සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක තියෙන විශේෂත්වය මොකක්ද? Do you want to start with the tax perspective?
Yes. Then it's going hand on hand. It's one side it's a law, other side is a tax. The both it's governing through the parliamentary acts. Then when it comes to now tax, we are using as a tool. It's not an isolated thing. Then we are using as a tool for decision making. Then not only tax, now with this environment which we are in, then knowing of law and embedded that part into tax. And if a person knows all these things, the law and the tax, then that person can give a solid decision making for that particular, even a small issue. Even for a small issue, even in a company, then even for the individual, then if they know about the contract law and if they know about if there are agreements signed, then we are binding to that agreements. Then in that situation, not only the tax but also the law, then if we know all these things, we are one thing as a person, we are in a comfort zone. We are with the students now, they are learning this, then they are in a comfort zone. And as well as that students, they are giving advices in future. Then they have a solid opportunity that combining with this too, and they can give solid opportunity, the solid advices to others, who seek in the professional advices. Then therefore it's the two kind of the things combined together and giving a synergistic benefit to others, then it is not bad. And it's good for the audience, which it will be for the students.
Yes, absolutely. And Ms. Tarika, do you want to add to that as well? How important is it that we have two of them?
Yes, so previously in CL4, it was only law focused. So it was all Companies Act and then the relevant laws. But now the taxation part has also come in. So it's 55% law and 45% tax. So I think that is important, because previously what I have also felt is that the syllabus was very law related. So it was only law focused, which may not have been very much interesting for the students, I must add. And where the students were under the impression that they could easily study it because it was theoretical and they could pass easily. But now, with the addition of taxation aspects also, I think it's important for the students to understand the concepts of tax. I have a little bit of an idea about the tax, the legal aspect of it, the IR, the Income Tax Act, and all that. But however, understanding the principles of taxation would be a little bit difficult. So that will be helped by Ms. Naina Anjali. Whereas how to get it combined to law, and what are the areas of law that will get combined with taxation, and at the same time from the corporate and company law aspect and the Companies Act side, I will be assisting them. So basically, previously from if I say 100% was was law, and now it's 55%, but exactly that 100% has been shrinked into that 55%, to be frank. So that's what has happened in the syllabus.
So no law has been compromised in that case,
Exactly.
is it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So Miss Nananjali, I'm going to come back to you on this because, like she mentioned, there is 45% which is still tax. How do you prepare your students to become all-rounded students who can, go to a boardroom, have a discussion, advice on strategic taxation in real life? What is your approach on that?
Yeah, the first thing, we have to tell the students this is not just a theory. Then you have to apply. Then I'm using the word application. Application for what? For the practical scenario. That practical scenario may be at their exam question, but then in the real life, how they are going to apply, how they are going to solve the problem. That's the thing, because in the key aspect is the apply and analyze.
Right.
Then in that situation, then we have to prepare students the mindset first for that, not just write theory areas, but this is a law. Even the Inland Revenue Act, even the Companies Act, both are we the first guide, the primary source we have the law. Then first we have to guide the students on the understanding of the theoretical part with reference to that laws. Then that is not enough. Then we have to take them on the application of it. Then for that we have to do the corrections. Then nothing other than anything. Then we have to do the correction by giving the practical real life scenarios as their correction. Then that corrections are be theirs one. They have to resolve those. Then in that context, we have to do more questions and more practice, because this is the first time. Then the past papers are not there, and we have the help of the pilot papers, the study text, everything are there. Even in study text, there are many questions. But as a lecturers, we have to instruct them for the real life application by giving questions for the mini case study questions and theory plus application. Not only that, it should be with the conclusions or recommendations. Then there should be a particular format. Then even it's a 45%, then they have to do this in the application and analysis part. Now in the tax, even if the computation, it should be a complex tax computation. Then when it comes to answer writing, it should be with the theory, application, and with the conclusion or whatever the recommendation. Then therefore, we have to first take the student and we have to little bit change their mindset just from the theory to application and give a good the opinion, the advice to the question. Yes, the paper is a question, but in practically is a real life explanation with maybe from their client, maybe from their corporate, the company what they are working. Then like that, that's the approach which in my mind when we are doing this course sessions.
Absolutely. And you mentioned change the students' mindset. So I'm going to come back to you, Ms. Tharika, because do you think there are any specific skills that our students could learn out of this in order for them to change their mindset and go beyond just being a traditional accountant or an auditor, so that they can go ahead and go to a place, go to the board, and handle shareholder disputes or even other compliance challenges? Are there specific skills that they could learn from this subject?
So obviously answering from a broader perspective, actually going before the board or like compliance matters, here is the start, I would
Right.
say. So this is the start. So it will require a lot of practice and being in the subject for a longer period of time. But however, this is your start for all the students. So if you know the basics properly, I think that will help a lot. So like Miss Nana Anjali mentioned, you can be that the star who knows about taxation and law, because what I have experienced is that in most of the companies which I worked in, they don't have that level of knowledge regarding the law. So we have to, as lawyers, we have to teach everything from the scratch, which is difficult. So you can be the star if you know your law and your taxation aspects. So you will be ahead of the others, right? So when you are presenting to your seniors, your management, to the board, or to analyze the compliance matters, that will help a lot, right? Because as accountants and as auditors or management accountants, that from the accounting mindset, you have to deviate a little, I would say, since you asked about the mindset. You have to deviate a little and think practically and, apply the taxation aspects, the legal aspects to the problems that you will face in your accounting when you're working as an accountant or as an auditor. So that is what needs to happen. And I would say now, previously, if you looked at CL4, you had to go to the exam. Speaking from the examination point of view, you had to just study law and go to the exam. But here now it's taxation and the law.
Yeah.
So you have to, even when you're picking a question, you have to realize, okay, is this from tax or is this from law? So if you can't figure out, that is a failure, right? So you need to figure that out first and then answer the question. So that is from the examination perspective. So I think the syllabus will be differentiated. It will be designated. This is tax, this is law. But when you get the question, it will be a scenario. So you need to understand, okay, is this from taxation chapters or from law chapters? So that is the examination point of view, how your mindset has to change when you're going to the exam. So if you are a repeat student or a student who's sitting for the first time, that kind of mindset change has to happen.
Lovely. Okay, and I'm going to add another question to you, because there are some inclusions. Just like not much was removed off, but there are included, a lot more included as well. So, speaking about the new curriculum, they are also identifying key features of the EROC system, and they have looked more into the operations of a company more in detail, I believe, if my understanding is correct. How important do you think it is that students learn this from a practical aspect as well as in detail, according to you?
So actually, in the previous syllabus also, this ROC, the Registrar of Companies, and how the forms and all those things were there, the forms that should be submitted for incorporation of a company, to change of directors, to change of company secretary, etc., were there. But now the digital aspect of it, how it is done digitally online through the EROC system, that is being discussed in detail. So I personally can do a demonstration and show it, because I'm a registered company secretary. So I have access to that portal, so I can show it to the students how you can upload the forms and what should be the inclusions in it, what should be recorded in those forms, and what are the purposes of that, and what is the function of the registrar of companies from a broader perspective. So that bringing that digitalization aspect to the syllabus is very important, because now we are dealing in a digital era. So even the government sector, the registrar of companies is a government institution. they have also resorted to the digital system, but there are hiccups, there are failures, so that is there. So most of the time, it's, to be frank, this EROC portal is down, right? So that is the reality, right? Where all the functions have stopped and the internet connection is very slow, and so we're taking so much of time to work. But leave it aside, this is important for students because they will be dealing with this system, the online system, when they go to work, right?
Okay.
So if they are working as company secretaries or as auditors, especially the auditors, I would say, they have to look at the history of a company and take the important information, whether it's annual returns, the director changes, all that. So that is very important. And apart from that, also now in the very first chapter of the syllabus, they have talked about the corporate personality. So this word was not there in the previous syllabus. It was only the legal personality that we talked about. Now there is another word, another phrase that is added, which is corporate personality. So that is a different aspect. So it's going beyond the legal aspect, how governance is brought in. So governance was not discussed much earlier. It was discussed to some extent, but not very prominently. But now governance in the new syllabus 25-4, this is discussed in detail because the companies are now looking at governance. Good governance is what the shareholders want, what the investors want. They are looking at corporate governance. There is, in the annual report, there is a specific section on corporate governance. So because of that, that concept is talked in detail here, because when a student goes to the to work one day, they will hear this word. So they don't want to get flabbergasted by hearing the word. So that level of knowledge is also being given here. So those are the main changes which I have identified in the new syllabus. So we are hoping to give that knowledge to the students going forward.
Lovely. Okay. And also, Miss Nayananjali, I'm going to ask you because before it was fully just corporate law, and now there's a part of taxation that's coming in. How would you say that students who, because some students really like law, some alternatively they may not find it too interesting and they prefer more mathematical, tax related questions. For someone who really likes law, but not too much of, like calculations, how would you say, or how would you advise students to take this subject with a positive mind?
Yeah. Anyway, the first thing which I have to tell, if you have selected this professional examination, then whatever the subject, it should be taken. Even it is you like or you dislike, even it's the 10%, 20% we like, but for you to pass, you should need 100. Then therefore, there are in the life, there are things we don't like, but what to do? We have to take it up and we have to do it. That's again the positive mindset. It should be there. And there are students who really don't like tax. Then I'm asking them, okay, then you all don't like me, you then like that. Then even, no, they are telling, no, okay, we can manage. Then at that level, we have to take our thought process then in a positive way. Then I think that's the one of the message, even it's very in a life balancing thing. Then I have to tell that because it's must. Even there are things we don't like, we have to accept. We don't have to do anything. Then therefore, even you don't like for calculation, then don't worry, please do it, it's easy. Then even not only in the tax, the calculations, you have to write the things. Then if the students very like to write and nicely that student can flow the things, then if it is so, then even tax you have there are questions for you to write. Then it is not only the calculation and writing part also there. Then take it easy and handle that, because please understand it's a 55-45, then therefore the both you need, the both ends you need, then therefore even you don't like, you have to take it up and go. Then in the tax or law, whatever subject, make it interest, then we have a lot of things to do. Then if you can effectively engage in the subject, if you can allocate some time for that subject, even you don't like, then make the sense in your life or that subject. Then if it is so, then they can be, maybe even it's a difficult subject, we may in thinking that okay, this we can do, then take that can do mindset, then definitely this is not a difficult thing. Any student who loved law, they will obviously love tax because they had to pass the paper. And therefore, anyway, this change in the mindset, they can do that.
Okay, lovely. And Miss Tarika, do you feel the same way as well? Because there are some people who don't like theory at all, and especially when it's law.
Yes.
So how would you say that you would keep them engaged from day one with so much theory involved? What is your approach for that?
So like Ms. Nana Anjali said, simply can't help. You
Yeah.
have to do both,
Yeah.
right? You have to study tax, you have to study law. So the method that I would be implementing is basically making it practical. So it's not only the students who are out of right after A levels who are coming here. Some are, some are a little mature.
Yeah.
So for them also, it'll be much easier for them. But for those who are coming right after A levels, for them, I will make it. I will give the practical aspect of it, because if you think of a scenario and try to apply these legal aspects, then it's easier for you. So maybe what I can do is I can continue the same example in different chapters, and they can remember that example and go to the exam and do the paper, because all these areas are interconnected. You can't just think of it isolated. It is all interconnected. So always taking an example and explaining to the students, as a lecturer for law in other institutes, I know it's easier for them. It's very easier for them to understand rather than giving all the theory. So then you have to study the theory. That is also there. That is, if you don't study, can't help, right? So you must study the concepts, the cases, the sections. It's a must. But what we can do is we can help you understand by using the examples.
Lovely. Okay. So final concluding remarks, because this paper, the students sitting for the June session it'll be the first time that everyone is sitting this paper. One, a lot of people are nervous, they're not sure how it will be, and they're really taking a step back at this moment. What is your advice to someone that is taking a step back for them to conquer their fear and to overcome these challenges by taking a step forward to face this examination? Maybe in the tax perspective, Ms. Nananjali, what is your advice to the students?
Yeah, doing it first time may be beneficial. Then therefore, please sit. If you have time, if you are now in Jan to June, if you are with maybe the students are in the audit firms, commercial sector, and they have university exams and all these things. With all these things they are doing. Anyway, they are doing the exam.
Yeah.
Then therefore, it's the first time, there may be the benefit, because this is the first time of the curriculum and all of us need to look at the success stories. Then therefore, biggest chance to make you pass if you have done in a good manner. Then therefore, don't take it as a negative thing. Take your time and study, because in the earlier syllabus, in 2020 syllabus, the law was there. And when it comes to tax in the BL7, in 2020 curriculum, it was there. Then if the lot of students nowadays, they are doing the AAT, and after that they are taking exemptions and coming to chartered, and they have that background. Then don't worry, you all can do this. If you really need to do it first time and complete it, because take the chance, and that chance may not be happen in the second time.
That's true. Okay, and Ms. Tarika, what are your views on it?
So exactly the same. So this is your only chance, right? Think of it as your only chance, not as your first chance or second chance, or only chance. So this is new, not only to you, for the lecturers, for institutes, for examiners, for everyone. This is new. So there's nothing to be compared to you against. So this, even if you may not be as good as you think, so you might not be very excellent in CL 25-4, but that is okay. Just go and write the paper, because that may be enough for you to pass. So my advice to you is study well, have that confidence, get that confidence. So not only through this subject, you may have studied these for A levels, for CIMA, for AAT, anywhere. So you have that knowledge with you already. It's just that you need to take it out, right? Take it out, apply it, and other thing is you have to do the, even if the paper is going to be new, do the past papers. That's okay. So taxation, if you can take it from elsewhere, or like, or maybe even from SIMA, I don't know. So how it'll work there. So, but obviously law, you have enough and more past papers. So it's going to be the same. The questions are going to be the same. So you can take those questions, model questions or the past paper questions, do those and go and study, go and sit the exam and you will be successful. So you need to have that confidence in you.
Yes, and although I said that it was the concluding remarks, I'm just going to add one more question to you because both of you mentioned during your advice that you will be including your practical experience and you will be sharing more knowledge, you'll be doing mock exams and lots of questions and all of that, which we are doing here at Infinity Learning Space as well. So I just want to ask you about why they should do why they should study corporate law and taxation with Infinity Learning Space to ensure that they do the questions right throughout. What is your output on that?
Yeah, the one thing is there is a syllabus. Then we are doing 100% of the syllabus. Then it's a coverage of the theoretical areas. That is one of the core thing for students to make them pass. Because if we don't know what they are learning, then it may be a gray area for them. Now the thing is, at Infinity we are doing 100% of the syllabus. That's the first thing. Second one, since this is the first time, since we don't have past papers, then genuinely as lecturers, we have to do more and more Patris questions. Then don't worry, Dhumendra, we are doing that Patris questions and we are discussing answers and we need to take students to that level of the apply and the analysis. That is the core learning outcomes, the 2 words it has given. Then we are taking the students at that level. Then not only that, we should have to have the pilot papers. No?
Yes.
Then that pilot papers, of course, for that we are taking the pilot papers and we are doing that for the students. And again, if it is now the 3 steps are there, theory, application and the pilot paper. And if we have the pilot paper, we can develop our own model papers. Then we can do the model papers with answers. I think that's enough for students to select us as Infinity for this corporate, which is law and the tax, which combine this subject. And we can make them pass just simply.
Yes, and Ms. Tarika, do you want to add to that as well?
Yes, so definitely we are going to cover the entire syllabus on time and with enough and more model papers like pilot papers, all those things. And so that will be very conclusive and all the areas will be covered. We'll make it as simple as possible for the students. And I would say this is the only platform that sort of maintains that professionalism when it comes to English or to any other aspect. So that kind of professionalism is important for the students going forward, and also to polish their English and polish their ethics. So that also we will add. It's not just the learnings, not only what's there in the book that is important. Also your practice, your behavior, your ethics, how you will present yourself, all that is also important, because that will be even if you go to an interview, that's the place where you sit, how you walk in, that is how you are going to get judged. So passing the exam, yes, you must pass the exam, but other things also we will teach you eventually. So there will be discussions with the students separately, and any questions they have, they can approach the lecturers. So the lecturers are very very down to earth, can be approached. So that is also there. The groups are there, they can ask any question. So all that is facilitated to the students very easily. So it's all for them.
Well, you heard it from both our lecturers for corporate law and taxation. You have nothing to worry about because they are here to take care of you. Stay tuned with Infinity Learning Space as we bring you Learning Pod 2.0 with more podcasts just like these.